Welcome to the explainer. All right, picture this. You're dropped right onto a speeding motorcycle, just tearing down a winding, open highway. The engine's absolutely roaring beneath you. The wind is whipping past your helmet. It is just total, chaotic sensory overload. But then you reach up and flip your visor down. Instantly, everything shifts. That absolute chaos, it just fades into this muffled, pulsing heartbeat. Today, we're unpacking exactly how that happens. We're looking at the biology of silence and high-speed focus and how your brain literally manipulates your reality just to keep you alive. So let's jump right into this weird paradox. Why does dropping a piece of plastic over your eyes feel like stepping into a mental vacuum? Because, subjectively speaking, the moment you secure that helmet in a high-stakes environment, the screaming highway turns into this quiet, almost isolated mental space. The overwhelming noise gets replaced by, well, profound focus. How on earth does your brain build that calm reality out of total chaos? Well, to keep you from totally overloading at high speeds, your brain pulls off this amazing survival trick. It's called selective deafness. Look, when you're moving that fast, your cognitive bandwidth just cannot handle every single sight, sound, and vibration hitting you all at once. If your brain actually tried to process all that raw data simultaneously, you'd max out completely. System crash. So instead of trying to hear everything, your brain actively chooses to hear almost nothing. It purposefully makes you deaf to huge chunks of the world, just to protect your focus. The actual biological gear turning behind the scenes here is called the N1 response. This is your brain's built-in mechanism for identifying and totally ignoring irrelevant background data. It's really what creates that biology of silence. When researchers dig into high-speed focus, they see the N1 response instantly flagging continuous, repetitive background noise. You can kind of think of it like an automated sound engineer inside your head, literally turning down the master volume on any continuous sensory input that isn't an immediate threat to your survival. So, bringing this back to our motorcycle rider, the N1 response is completely obsessed with predictability. That constant rush of wind whipping against your helmet, the steady drone of your exhaust pipe. Because those sounds are constant, the N1 response flags them as totally harmless. And boom, they get sent right to the back of the line and muted. By silencing these loud but highly predictable inputs, your brain frees up precious mental bandwidth so you can process what actually matters in the next split second. Now, while the N1 response is busy hitting the mute button on the predictable world, it's actually clearing the stage for a really crucial secondary system. This one's called mismatch negativity. Think of mismatch negativity as your brain's hyper-calibrated internal alarm system. It's constantly scanning your environment, but not for what is there, it's hunting for what shouldn't be there. It wants those unexpected, pattern-breaking sounds. Your brain is literally quieting the normal world down, specifically so this alarm system can be as sensitive as humanly possible. Imagine you're cruising at 70 miles an hour. Because your N1 response has successfully tuned out that expected 70-mile-an-hour wind whistle, any tiny, sudden anomaly becomes a massive neural focal point. I mean, we're talking about something as small as the faint screech of tires from a car jerking around 3 lanes over. Mismatch negativity detects that tiny anomaly against the canvas of silence and instantly snaps your brain into high alert. So let's put it all together in real time. As you're literally hurtling down the highway, your brain hits massive sensory overload, instantly filters the expected noise with the N1 response, and then deploys mismatch negativity to lock onto sudden threats. It's incredible. It is this exact, seamless sequence, filtering the expected to highlight the unexpected, that gives you those lightning-fast, superhuman reflexes when danger just seemingly appears out of nowhere. By deliberately silencing the irrelevant stuff, all of your mental energy gets forcefully rerouted directly to your visual reflexes. Your attention essentially turns into a laser beam. All that raw processing power that would have been wasted on listening to the roar of the wind, it's instantly channeled into absolute single-minded clarity. Your survival instincts completely take the wheel here, totally dictating your reactions. What you've entered here is a state we can call the neural geometry of flow. It's literally a temporary biological architecture. Your brain actually rewires itself in the moment to prioritize raw reaction over casual observation. And operating inside this framework, it feels incredibly distinct. The irrelevant world just falls away, your perception narrows down to a pinpoint, and your body starts functioning in absolute peak performance, perfectly synced and reactive to a high-stakes environment. You know, we usually think of silence as just an empty room, just a lack of noise, right? But out there at high speeds, Silence is an incredibly active, unbelievably sophisticated biological survival tool. It's not passive at all. It's a state intentionally manufactured by your brain. Your biology forces the world to quiet down simply so it can safely navigate you through the chaos. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to take a second and reflect on your own experiences. When have you actually felt this flow state? When have you hit that intense mental vacuum while pushing your own limits? Maybe it was during a high pressure sport, a crazy demanding project at work, or just a sudden hit of adrenaline. What did that focus actually feel like when the rest of the world simply faded away? Think about it. Thanks so much for joining me to uncover the biology of silence. Stick around because next time, we're taking another deep dive into the absolute limits of human performance.